let's talk about the Accesscode Paradox, shall we? I'm looking at you, 37.6%. If you guys could, smash the crap out of that subscribe button so we can get closer to where we want to be, that would be awesome. All right, so don't be like the 37.6%, all right? Subscribe today. All right, so what's the Accesscode Paradox and what's going on with this? So earlier in the week, we made a video talking about, oh my God, sellers are being sellers with Accesscode Talker because of the card not being in the tins. And I kind of had an idea that Accesscode wouldn't be in the tins because when they advertised Zeus over Accesscode Talker, that felt a little bit weird. All right, like if you want to spoiler a big headliner, you go after Accesscode Talker. While Zeus is as good as Accesscode Talker in some regard, all right, a big beat stick that is effectively Borrelsword 2.0 should be your center point. So you kind of got to think about that a little bit. Was that what we were looking at? So when I say Accesscode Paradox, I've heard a couple of interesting theories on Accesscode Talker, and I wanted to talk about those theories today. So I've presented the theory that, well, what if Accesscode Talker ends up coming down the pipeline later on in the year, say as a gold rare? Now, if they haven't advertised this card, once again we go back to the Zeus theory here, if they're presenting, something like Zeus over like Accesscode Talker, well, shucky me darn, you think that would be a headliner here. Now, they could, here's where the paradox begins here, we could put Accesscode Talker in the gold series and we could give it an alternate art because there is effectively 5 arts on cards that the OCG doesn't have yet that we'll probably be seeing over the next year in the OCG. And, Accesscode Talker could be one of those cards. They could be walling it up to give it that alternate art. But here's my thing. If you're going to give it an alternate art this early on without having a reprint to dampen the value on the original card, I feel like you're just hurting the value that's already established on that. So I typically don't think that we'll see an alternate Accesscode Talker in Gold Series because, truthfully, they want to give at least one buffer reprint to the original art to maintain that value presence on that. So I think that's out of the question, all right? Now, for it to be a gold rare itself, you now have to ask the next question. Gold rares typically have an equal spread across the product to a degree, which means that, you have a good chance to pull, but I still don't think Gold Series is it, man. Like, honestly, last year's gold wasn't the best, but when you look at how things are going, I still don't think it's that. So now you go travel down here to the next place. You look at Brothers of Legend. You're like, well, technically they did reprint a Borrelsword at one point into the set, and then they give it its next print in tins at that point. So now you look at you look at Brothers of Legend. You're like, well, okay, I could see it here because honestly, they do like to use the Brothers of Legends set, or the battles, whatever the heck you want to call the blur sets at this point in time, as good reprint slot windows to further sell the sets. But they advertised, this is my favorite part, they advertised yet again the fact that Forbidden Droplet wouldn't be in here, and they didn't mention anything about Accesscode Talker. Now, why is that? Accesscode Talker is the big link for it. It is the thing that is the destroyer of things. Non-respondable windows of effect resolution is what this game seems to be about in the modern era. So when you look at something like this, now you gotta just be like, okay, what's going on here? If we're not advertising this, then there's that. So, okay, so check. Maybe we're not putting it in Brothers at that point. That's your next few reprint windows for the next 4 to 5 months. Unless you want to go all the way out here to Grand Creators. All right? They have never put a high value card in something like Grand Creators on the scale of like a Link 4 that's generic. I highly, highly, highly do not see it in Grand Creators. So there's that. So now you have to ask yourself, oh, that's the next few months. Okay, so where's the next point that Accesscode Talker could show up? Well, your next place is an OTS Alti. And I was kind of thinking about this a little bit, because if they're not reprinting it this in the next few sets here, for example here, then next thing you got to ask yourself is, oh, Okay, well, maybe it'll be an OTS ulti. You know, they did do it with Droplet. You know, they can take a high value card and give it another high-end reprint. That is a possibility. All right, so not only that, OTS 18, 19, it is on the table, in my opinion, that we could see it at any of those places. So now, okay, so an OTS ulti in the next 4 months, 5 months could make sense. At the end of the day, I could see that because we don't have another place to put it. Now, the next question is, okay, well, what if it's not in the OTS? All right, now we have to go out into March, April next year. Please tell me that it's not going to be in Ghost from the Trash too, as a ghost rare, because now you're looking at this far out, all right, all the way out here into, you know, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, early mid next year. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Like, that's as far as you get. I don't even know if we're getting Ghosts from the Trash too, all right, because perfectly honestly, we could. They could just yield ghost rare treatment in there. Hey guys, we reprinted Accesscode Talker. You wash your hands with the situation, you're done. That's all I'm sitting on here, all right? That's it. Those are the only other places at this point in time that it makes sense for Accesscode to even show up at all right? Now, the reason why I call it the Paradox video here is there's one other theory behind Accesscode Talker right now. I think it's the most far-fetched of them all, actually. By far-fetched, I mean it's the dumbest of them all. You know, what if Konami, in the grand scheme of things, was sitting here going, you know, Accesscode Talker is a problem for the game. And like, oh no, Robbie, what are you saying? People have been talking about wanting to see Accesscode Talker banned. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think that this is the dumbest one of them all. Now, I originally was on a giant crusade against Boral Sword many years ago because at that time, generic OTK cards weren't necessarily good for the game, all right? Especially when I always mention the extra deck as a resource of something that if you can stick any two monsters together and produce this result, well, that's where the issue kind of starts to come in. Now, what if we are in the same thing here? What if Konami looks at Accesscode Talker as this troublesome card that sticking a combination of monsters together, producing this 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 attack monster, and it has this unrespondable effect? You know, what if Konami looks at that and goes, maybe this is a problem. Maybe we should ban this. I don't highly think that that's going to happen. I understand that generically looking at Accesscode Talker on paper, yeah, the card's nuts. All right, but we've gotten to the point now that leaving something like Accesscode Talker in the game feels more natural than anything. It's effectively a boss monster that goes, well, sucks, buddy. I wish you could respond to this and you could do something, but unfortunately, no, you can't really do anything. All right, so as of making this video, there are multiple places on the calendar here that we can potentially see Accesscode Talker reprints along the way. You know, even so much as it could get banned. I don't see how likely that is at this point in time. But as we go down the paradigm here, you have to ask yourself, is this where they'll put the Accesscode Talker? I think as we're going, I don't think Gold is going to be it. Brothers of Legend looks like it's truthfully the next best place. But you've always got to put on the back burner here that, you know, Accesscode Talker should be a point of being advertised for its value. So you ask yourself, well, it would be advertised as an OTS ulti, so maybe next ulti down the line here. But like I said, even Ghost from the Trash, 2 possibilities are that. I don't know. I think it's going to be really funny because I have a feeling, all right, that Ghost from the Trash 2 is coming, all right? I smell it. They got to find a place to put Ghost Rare Dark Magician Girl somewhere, all right? You know alone that Ghost Rare Dark Magician Girl is going to sell that product, and it is going to be hilarious. So, guys, what do you think about the Accesscode Talker Paradox? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think that Accesscode Talker is going to get the reprint anytime soon, or are we literally going to be up dry for a while? That didn't come out right. You guys know what I mean. All right, I'll see your beautiful faces back later and do some more cool ass content. You guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Peace out. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCole40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCole40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcolegames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.